What's up, my Taroversians? Welcome to our tarot card reading. If you're new here, my readings tend to be a bit intense and quite blunt about what I get. Not because I'm a jerk, but because I think that telling you exactly what I feel straight up is going to be the most helpful thing for you. Consider it an act of love. But if you're returning, you already know the drill. But, just make sure that you kind of brace yourself for the messages. If you feel extra sensitive right now, proceed with caution, because this is likely going to be... Actually, I will be drawing with the intention of looking at your love life, trying to answer any kind of questions that you have, and more importantly, getting you advice and guidance for your current situation. This is a collective reading, so anyone is welcome to this reading. Pay attention to what I'm saying to see if it resonates. Do not force it to fit. If it doesn't fit, it should just kind of flow smoothly and make sense. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave it for someone else, because it may not be for you. I think that's all I really got to say. Thank you so much in advance for your time and your love. I'm going to take this into an extended at the end of the video and just kind of go deeper into whatever topics that come up. That'll be in the description box below. So let's go ahead and begin. The deck list and everything will be also available in the description box. This card's face up. It's got some beautiful feathers. There's a letter as well with that little heart shape in the middle. Life is beautiful. Life is meaningful. And I feel that's just, right off the bat, really showing you that, number one, your guides, the universe, the divine, is with you and is watching right now. And likely is communicating with you. Likely is sending you messages. If you're open to look, you will see them. And this is this proof that they are right there under your eyes. If you're open to the fact that the universe is on your side and the universe is sending you messages, it'll never tell you something bad. The universe will always help you. The messages that you receive from your guides will always feel gentle and beautiful and helpful and resonate. Specifically, some of you, this might be about feathers, about something from the sky, about birds. That may be a way that you are communicated with, or now that your eyes have opened, how you will see the communication coming in the future. But I'm really feeling like an open line of communication in way of synchronicities and such coming from your own special spirit team or guides. So basically, if something happens and it feels magical or it feels like a message for you, take it. If it's positive, if it's good, what harm can it do? Don't talk yourself out of beautiful synchronicities that will be coming and happening in your life. Some of you will be getting a surprise message. This could be about love from somebody who you would want a message of love from, or this could be about something like a career opportunity, finances, stuff like that. I'm hearing self-love, like I don't really know how these would relate or how this would work, but it's almost like you'll be getting a surprise message. I don't know if this is like a text or communication from above, but a surprise message that helps you with the concept of self-love in some way. Let's go a little bit further with this deck and see what kind of messages are coming out. Sunflowers are going to be significant for some of you. I feel like beware of nostalgia. And believe nothing that you hear and only half of what you see. It's reminding me of my Trust No One shirt, right? File, edit, layer, image, filter. Okay. Beware of nostalgia. Listen, I don't know how to really say this without maybe hurting someone's feelings, but you can't just be stuck in memories. There needs to be like a conscious decision at some point in your journey to, you don't want to suppress. You want to allow the emotions or the memories to come in because they're naturally occurring. So you would want to naturally let it come, but you don't want to cling on. And I feel what some of you may be experiencing right now is a longing or a sorrow or being kind of stuck in a memory or a feeling of the past. When it comes in, you don't want to hang on to it. You want to allow it to come, but then let it move through you. This transmutes the energy. This shows you that you don't have to be controlled by these feelings, by these thoughts. Some of you are very much stuck in a situation of the past, kind of replaying it like a loop in your head. This could be with a lover, an ex. This could even be about like the could be or would be type scenario. So not necessarily the past, but start to challenge yourself if you get stuck in thoughts like, is this becoming something toxic for me? And is there a way to gently move away from these replay loops of these memories that are coming? Because I feel like for a lot of you right now, you've reached a point in your healing or a point in your consciousness where you can actually look at these thoughts, these feelings, these memories that would once control you and actually break those replay loops. And I'm just feeling like the universe is really guiding you here into better things, sending you hopeful and beautiful synchronicities, reminding you that you're not alone, that it is on your side, and that you can now move past these things from the past that might have chained you down. Believe nothing that you hear and only half of what you see. And again, I feel like this is challenging narratives for you. In my last video, I do believe it was my last video, I talked about how some of you may not be super optimistic, and like the more positive case scenarios for your life or for about a specific person or the way things are going, like the positive route may seem like the most far-fetched. And that's because basically you're just used to things being like going like a low vibrational way. What I think this card is saying is to really just pay attention to the narrative that you give your life, your interactions with other people, and see if that really is truth, or if you have been kind of crafting a safety net of truths for yourself that may not be super positive. Because to believe that something good will not happen out of this situation, or to believe that this person indeed does not like you, or that this person indeed is not on your side, allows you essentially to stay safe in a strange, twisted way, but it does, because you're not challenged to leave your comfort zone. All right, that person doesn't like me. I'm not gonna even try. Because to try with that person involves vulnerability, involves opening up, involves empathy, etc., etc. To push yourself into a situation that might work out, for example, maybe applying for a new job. If you just believe that you're not going to get that job, why even try? Then you can stay in your comfort zone of not even trying and not face the fear of rejection that you might have keeping you from doing these things. You see where I'm going with this? Challenge your narratives. Maybe what your mind is giving you all the time is not actually truth, right? And I feel like the more that you do challenge these narratives and push yourself into fresher waters, greener grass, you're going to start seeing more synchronicities from the universe, and you will likely get better, more positive results from your life if you start doing this. Reach for the stars, guys. It's not that crazy to have good stuff start happening to you. And I can already see some people packing away in the comments, like, no, TAROVERSE, like, blah, 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 blah. I tried, but that. Okay, that's you convincing yourself to stay in a certain vibration, and just check, see if that vibration works for you or not, you know? But if you're trying to convince me, why? I think you're just trying to convince yourself of something. Ask yourself why. You know, why am I trying to convince myself or TAROVERSE, you know, about this narrative? Is it helping me? Yeah, there's like a refusal for some of you to move into a new phase of life. That would be super helpful for you right now. I feel like letting go is not easy and it's not fun. Some of you may have to let go of some things that is not easy and not fun. But there's a new phase of life that you are being really, really ushered into, really pushed into, and I'm feeling immense support from the universe in going into this phase of life. You're not going to have all the results immediately, and you're not going to know the trajectory of things. I may just have my deck upside down, but I feel like they're coming out reverse for a reason here. So determination and trust also coming up here, right? So there needs to be trust introduced in nothing else but yourself. And yourself also includes the universe, right? So consider yourself part of the universe. Trust the universe. Trust yourself. You don't need to trust anyone else. Relying on other people to meet your needs is, I mean, it's good to have a partner. It's good to have people to depend on. You know, it's good to have the confidants, the shoulders to lean on. But likely you won't have that support system right now because you're being challenged to simply just be there for yourself. Again, we're getting these themes of, I feel like we're in the realm of self-love right now, and self-love in the form of trusting in yourself and proving to yourself what you can do at this point in your life. You know, this collective is not, this is not a collective for people who are not driven. You know, this is not a collective of people who want to sit around and feel sorry for themselves. Those people have unfollowed at this point. If you're still following me here on this channel, you've got what it takes. Like, you've got it in you. Or you just, I don't know, really like my aesthetic. But, you know, I feel like you guys are really going to be, this collective will, I mean, Earth in general, because the collective is kind of a mirror of that. You're going to see a lot of crazy good changes, I feel like, coming. And no, it's not easy. Like, you know, some, you know, terrible, like, difficult stuff is part of that path, but there's transformation here for you. And I feel like it just involves, like, you know, leaving your comfort zone, trusting yourself, and letting go of some toxic things, behaviors, thoughts, people, energy, security, and mystery. So mystery is kind of showing me that you don't have the path ahead laid out. Don't be looking for finality or answers right now with the moves that you're making. This is about, again, having the drive and having that source of security being rooted in yourself in the present moment and nothing else. Embrace the mystery. It's almost like the mystery, the unknown, the lack of answers can be your compass. If your eyes are closed and you don't know the final result, right? You're simply going to be feeling. And if it feels right, I feel like that is the compass. And then you'll see synchronicities lining up, and everything should just feel right. Everything should be in a kind of flow for the way that you're moving forward and the way that you're simply just handling yourself, your relationships, and your life. If you don't feel that sense of unity, then it's time to assess. Then it's time to challenge the narratives. Maybe you don't believe everything that your mind is feeding you right now. And again, for those of you that are super held back, pay attention to these feedback loops of, like, nostalgia in your brain. You think that Instagram, TikTok reels, the endless scroll, the brain rot, you think that's new? No, before we had that, we simply just had our memories doing that. What sets you apart is being able to be conscious of the way that your mind, your monkey mind, your brain feeds you these feelings, these thoughts, these memories, the same way that you would scroll through reels on TikTok, and being able to disrupt that cycle. I got the new version of the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. We're about to bust that out pretty soon. Let's do some more oracles here. Just taking our time, seeing what's coming out for you guys. A little check-in for y'all. We got tools, we got inner child. I'm seeing a lot of primary colors here coming together. So it's showing me that you do have the tools right now to create what you want to create. Some of you are waiting for something. I feel like that's kind of a form of, like, procrastination. Tools, inner child, and misfit. Yeah, totally. You've got the tools. It's time to play. You know, it's time to be open. It's time to be vulnerable. You might have an excuse or a feel. Misfit's been coming out a lot, by the way, in these videos. You might have, you know, some kind of, it feels like an excuse. I'm not this, I'm not that, I can't. All right, get out of here with the I can't stuff. This reading is not about I can't. I don't want to hear excuses. If there's something that you want and it feels aligned, you can probably start to take those steps right now. That's what Spirit is saying. You've got the tools with you. It does involve, look at how tools are, they're like lined up. They're very neat. They're very orderly, right? The inner child is not. The inner child card is kind of like the opposite of that. It's different shapes. It doesn't all fit together. It's a little bit chaotic. To me, that's about, it's like the feeling that you want everything in order, and then what being vulnerable and getting out of your comfort zone feels like. Everything's kind of chaotic. But both of these two things come together, I feel like, to create how you're moving forward. It's showing you the way to move forward. And that just completely cut off my flow for some reason. Which was that's a very strange sensation. So some of you almost feel like when you do want to express yourself, all of a sudden there's like a shutdown, or there's like a cut off. And that might scare you, or it might feel weird. For those of you that resonate with that, we have connect and magic. So that's a call to spirituality, trigger some kind of unresolved conflicts around expression about who you are that you're meant to work through right now. Your spirit team will help you with this. This goes way back for you. Your core feelings of stability, your tie to the earth. You're never not disconnected from yourself. You're never truly shut off. You can always connect to who you are and who you're meant to be. And your spirit team and your guides want you to know that. That shutdown is more of a defense mechanism. But again, you want to challenge narratives and ask, is that real? Is the infinite I underneath everything else gone forever? No, you can always tap back into that. Don't be convinced that you can't. Now, this is a really strange style of reading, but I feel like for the people that this will help, it will help. Pay attention to what shuts you down and why. But really, actually, start to dig for the reason why. People don't like to look at their faults. That's why the ego exists, to protect you from it. And it does a very good job of tricking you out of things. There was a comment thread that was brought to my attention by Aura. I don't know for how long it was going on. It was some lady talking about how she was really upset that I had people that liked me, basically, and talking about how like I'm nothing but red flags and everyone that watches me is too young to see, and I'm obviously not a good partner, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Whatever, lady. But the people that came to my defense, and don't ever think that you have to defend me in the comments, you guys, I really don't care. It is sweet that you guys do that though, but people came to my defense, which again, it's really sweet. And this lady attacked the people who were like, kind of like cordially like defending me. And in every sentence of her like attack on me and my character, you could just see the parts of her that she didn't accept, that she was projecting on me, right? She was like an older lady and I'm a younger man, so it's a very strange complex to have also. But she could never see that these were things within her. She could only see them in me. But again, I'll tell you this, if you watch my videos a lot, when you see faults so clearly, when you're very triggered by another person, and these usually happen with people that you're closest with, that is a window into the things in you. That is a window into your blind spots of what your ego is protecting you from seeing because it's too painful. So you see it in others. Being a bitch, being a mean girl is not a strength, because if you understand how these things work, it's just a very clear window into how that person views themselves and what they don't accept about themselves. It's the ego tricking them. And it does a very good job. Pay attention to how the ego might trick you. Because I think once you can understand maybe what your blind spots are, you can move forward into the next steps, which is basically what I feel like thriving. This is about understanding yourself, believing, trusting, and then thriving. The universe is basically showing you that everything's here for you. It's just about really listening and connecting, I feel like. With that, we're going to read a poem from a Poesis card and then start our tarot reading, which I'm going to pivot into love. All right, I want to pick a card that will give us just the right poem for the right person. At the right time, the right moment, the right words. Choice and practice. We got two. I only wanted one, but we're going to do two. Hopefully they're not too long. Let's take a look at choice. They're not too long. Pay attention to any symbols that come out, whatever. When we choose something, we inevitably pass on something else. We can only know what the right road is after we have fully committed to its unfolding. We can view this as a positive progression, a clear channel to focus our energies and intentions, or we can see it as a negative restriction. The perspective we choose can often be the most important decision we need to make. Next is practice, which came out with it. Every day I see how you get up in the morning and kiss the sun. Every day I see how you concentrate your efforts to sow. Every day I see how you build truth into your body by the habits of your activity. Every day I see how the largeness of your spirit grows. I'm not going to comment. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life. Overall energy that we're getting right now, in whatever love situation you find yourself in, I'm seeing Wheel of Fortune, almost like Temperance in my head. It's kind of hard to make it out. I'm seeing a lot of major arcana. White, gold. I'm seeing like clouds, maybe like the blue lion or like a lion that you would see. A lot of Wheel of Fortune imagery here for the love situation. So, I'm going to say that's the card that's coming to me in my head just right off the bat. So there's something big at play. And again, the Wheel of Fortune, kind of like spirit having its hand in things, at least in how it's kind of hitting me, showing things are turning. Do not stop the flow of how things are turning for you. Understand when you're standing in your own way and when you're letting things flow. Overall energy we're getting here for you in your love life: Page of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. I feel like your heart is being answered by somebody, so there's likely to be a lot of communication in your love life. The Queen of Cups is showing me a little bit of longing, so you might be pining for somebody. Not pining, I would just say longing. There's like a feeling in your heart that something's missing. Perhaps someone is missing. And I do see that energy being answered. There's a feeling here of a partner being cooperative, which maybe they weren't in the past. The three here could also be that you might be talking to more than one person. One person would have the importance in this situation, where the other people might be more of just a breeze, than something very substantial. But I do see cooperation is coming to mind. Also, patience is coming into my mind. But I see a call of the heart being answered and cooperation coming into your love life. Consciousness, again, I'm seeing the three circles, almost like the three pentacles here. Movement. Yeah, there's something coming for you. Someone's kind of waking up. And then sadness is that longing. So you may have been waiting for a very long time. You may have been in a very sorry or sad state, I see here. But there's an awakening here on someone's end, and that is creating a lot of movement. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that is going to reveal itself eventually or soon. Tell me about this person coming towards you, my dear Taroversian. Who's coming towards you? What's going on with this situation? What do we see coming in? And then I want to see your energy a little bit too, my Taroversian. Should I put that down? Why doesn't that feel right? We got the Fool and the Blank card. A lot of hesitation. You don't feel like yourself right now. You maybe are going through a lot of changes or have gone through a lot of changes. Things might feel weird or you don't feel like yourself. Embrace is coming to mind. So like embrace yourself, embrace whatever this is right now. Maybe you can recreate yourself. Maybe you are just finding out who you actually are and that feels foreign to you. Feeling a bit like a stranger, feeling foreign, feeling reborn, feeling different. You've got Fool energy, and it looks like it's clocking you aside the head, right? And making you like kind of like blank out and feel quite different, quite weird. However that energy is hitting you, I don't really know. Like I said, it feels weird, but you are meant to take it as like a clean slate, as something new, as something nice. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the Wheel of Fortune having changed things in your life. And now it's almost kind of like, well, I don't want it or I'm scared. You're wondering if you're going in the wrong direction in love, if you've made a mistake. That's kind of your energy. I'll pull you advice just for that real quick if you do resonate with that. And we're getting clarity and isolation. So you may need to take a step back, specifically from other people's energy. If you're starting to feel overwhelmed or very confused, you need more quiet. You need less stimulation. You need to center and root yourself. These gray colors kind of feel like Source, the divine, who is on your side, but that spiritual energy is most loud when you are most quiet. And you are most quiet when you're with your own energy. So I'm seeing the Hermit very strong in my head right now. Oh, you might need time for yourself with your own energy. What else is coming out on that wave? It's like High Priestess. It's like the Hermit, that getting in touch with your feminine energy. A little bit of Empress, feeling abundant on your own. Remember, I'm getting your overall theme, even in love right now, is you proving to yourself like, I can do it, right? Without the need of other people. So I do see that your person over here, it looks like, so there's the energy of passing up on an offer, walking away, and finding abundance. So there might be no contact, or this person might not be messaging you. You might not be meeting this person. You might not be talking to this person. This is a conscious choice on their end. Why is it always like you'll get advice that's like, be on your own, you need that. And then like your person is like, hey, I'm taking some me time because I need that. It's like your advice is always what the person's doing in like the past couple of readings. If like you've been resonating with those readings, that's funny. But it does feel conscious for this person. They're kind of like, yeah, I need to take a step back for me. Bye. Right? And that kind of leaves you, I don't think you're necessarily too confused or too upset about that. There's like an it is what it is type of feeling. Maybe in the past you would have been more upset, but the you that's kind of turning in the wheel now, it's more like, yeah, how do I manage the situation best for me? So you're like more me-centric, which is really healthy and good, versus just feeling fucking destroyed by this person and, you know, you taking it as just total and complete rejection and chaos, right? So there's a more healthy energy about you right now and how you're handling love in general. Congratulate yourself on this growth. But what maybe we don't want to applaud is, okay, this person needs space and a break. That does kind of suck. There's movement away. So this person's definitely at a distance. You know, I feel like they took that distance. They're doing it for themselves. They need that, etc. They've walked away from their cups. A lot of water with them for some reason. Very emotional. Now, during this person's break, I do see that they are restabilizing and finding abundance. This usually works in your favor if they do really like you, if this really is a connection that's meant to be. Them finding abundance, taking that space for themselves, probably means that they come back with maturity, that they come back ready to offer something, you know, if you're really the one. Going in a little bit deeper with this person. What do we need to know about them? Yeah, it's interesting. So we see this blue and this green main color on both of these cards. So the King of Swords says truth on it. My camera's a bit further away for this video, so it's hard to see the details on the cards. And the King of Wands is pointing somewhere. Pointing to this card, which is a combination of the blue and the green. Just interesting synchronicities, right? And then we see that woman just flying out the door, kind of like Beetlejuice, that doorway. So I feel like this person is coming in with honesty. What I'm kind of getting here is that they forced or took space for themselves. And you don't need to, you know, if you're mad at this person for doing this, if you feel like they left you in the cold, then maybe, you know, you should move on and not even watch this reading, right? You know, because they did you dirty and, you know, you have self-respect, etc. Some of you may feel really bad and that's valid as fuck. Like, say goodbye to that person. Find someone who's not going to do that to you. Some may have a more empathic or, you know, might feel more patient with this person, not really feel done so dirty, kind of feel like they kind of went through it. And that's what I'm reading for basically, is that I feel like this person needed that space and took that time for themselves and they feel better. So they're coming at you with this truth. It's almost like they're ready to speak. We also see from a different deck that same kind of blue and green coming in. I feel like they're ready to speak. Even my cups, it's crazy. They've been able to reflect and see themselves through this period of distance, of silence, because again, silence is connection to self, is connection to universe, is connection to truth, is spiritual abilities becoming louder, messages from spirit becoming louder. Even if you're not conscious that it's coming from spirit, things just clarify for you, right? This person's an example. In your case, it's something that they want to tell you or something that they want to show you or do. I do feel this could be in the form of an email or a message or a conversation. I see this person has the word that's coming to mind is charisma. So it's either in like their chest or their throat. They weren't able to express themselves or communicate. They were very delicate like glass, very fragile, easily broken, so they didn't open up or communicate. Instead, they held it all inside, and that would make them shut down. And now they're able to, or they were able to process better. They're a little bit different now. So they're able to speak with you in a way that they weren't before. This is very freeing, and the energy that comes in is very freeing with however this conversation goes, with how this communication goes. So I feel like that's coming up. I feel like that's what the conscious movement is that we were picking up on earlier. And, you know, that is kind of your heart's call being answered. Maybe a lot of you are hoping for this, and maybe that actually is coming true. Don't wait forever, though. You know, some timelines, this may not come true. Hopefully for most of you guys that want this, it does come true. But, you know, don't put yourself, no matter how much you trust the reader, no matter, you know, how on point and good your reader might be, if something's not coming true and you just feel like you're stuck waiting, you know, fucking move on. You know, you owe that to yourself. Future you will always thank you for getting yourself unstuck from situations that hurt. What else do we need to know here? We're getting the Four of Swords. We're getting the Four of Pentacles. A lot of rest coming in. And the Six of Pentacles. This looks like both of you, to be honest. Not being like both of you needed time. Both of you needed the right time. It's like something had to happen. Like you were both forced into some kind of like isolation or disconnection. And through that, you're able to see something so clearly now and quite possibly communicate better than before. Proof that this would be the case for you is that you do feel that things are more clear now, and that you were kind of in some kind of disconnect with love or with a specific person. If you don't feel that things are more clear, this may not be your reading, because I'm picking up on just a lot of clarity for you right now, having gone through what you did at a distance. And that clarity is kind of like your sign that likely your person is getting or got clarity too, or somebody did. If this isn't a person specifically, maybe you disconnected with somebody, went through this, and they're not coming back, but I do still feel that the heart call, your heart's call, is being answered. So that energy of whatever you felt is going to come back, and you will experience that love with somebody. Let's see what kind of oracles come out for this. I'm interested. In the extended, what I'm going to do is look a little bit more from your person's perspective and look at the immediate future. You're free to join me in the description box below. Your membership is the #1 way to support the channel. The reason that my readings are so nice of an experience now is because you guys have shown me unconditional love and support through things like becoming a member, liking the video, commenting, sharing, etc. So, don't think that, how you interact with my channel doesn't help. It does, and I feel it, and y'all can see that in my videos, right? So every video is like a thank you to you guys, for your support to me. Hopefully I'm supporting you live a good life. So yeah, immediate future in the extended, a little bit more from your person. And let's see some oracles for the messages of love that we are talking about right now. The gong loves you guys. The gong loves this collective. So no vacancy is, I feel like this is another call to be moving forward right now. You don't want to stay in the past. You want to make sure that you're making room, or that you don't have room for certain things. What do you want to make room for? What do you not have room for anymore? What's going on in your little hotel, in your little Bates motel? So then we've got desire and freedom. And I feel like this is the kind of juxtaposition of like old versus new, where desire was more tempting, more restrictive, and held you back. Now you're being guided into having freedom. You're free now. You're no longer caged by desires, obsessions, limerence, etc. And whatever you felt for that person doesn't mean that by letting go it's not true, or that something won't happen with them. You're just simply taking gunk out of your energy. It doesn't really change any kind of fundamental dynamic with any connection that you have. How do I make a metaphor for this? It's like you take your car through a car wash, you clean your car, and it looks way better. And you're worried that by doing that, you're not going to get a boyfriend. Think about that. All right, so we also have the gong. And there's a sunrise coming after a long dark. So you're returning to yourself. You've been reborn. I don't know how else to put it. Death and mystery. Speaking of being reborn. Some of you are look at the moon in both of these. Some of you are very worried about where your life is going and about letting go and moving into something new. But I just feel like what you guys are letting go of is actually something that you're supposed to, like something that's not good for you. But you're worried if by letting go of something that's not good for you, you're making a bad choice. But no, if something makes you feel bad, whether that's hanging on to hope or a person or whatever, if something makes you feel bad, that feeling that it's bad is a sign something has to change. And if you're not assessing those feelings, then what you're doing is suppressing. And what does suppressing do? It fucks with your nervous system on a physical level and your energy on a spiritual level. So think about all that, right? Your feelings are always going to be a compass. What feels good and centered and relaxed is amazing for you. What feels off is not good for you, right? In some way, your feelings will always help you, even if they suck. So, looking at the near future, description box below. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope this was helpful. Reading was a bit abstract tonight, but I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed and got a lot out of it. Take care.